All right, let's talk about that feeling. You know the one, when you check your bank account and you don't immediately want to just close the app in horror. Well, there's a specific number where that shift actually happens, and I bet it's not what you think. We're going to dive into why the most important number in your financial life isn't $1 million. Nope, it's way, way smaller.
Yeah, we hear it all the time, right? Become a millionaire. That's the ultimate goal, the finish line for financial security. But what if that huge, kind of intimidating number is just a distraction? What if it's keeping us from focusing on the milestone that really changes everything?
See, the reality is, there's this kind of invisible barrier. It's a financial threshold that once you cross it, completely changes the rules of the game. Seriously, it's the exact point where you stop just surviving and you finally start building.
And that number? It's $20,000. Yep, $20,000. This is the turning point. It's the moment where everything before it feels like this massive struggle, and everything after, well, it feels like gravity is finally on your side. So let's break down exactly why.
Okay, first up, we've got to understand why getting to this number feels like such an impossible climb. Because it really does, right?
This is hands down the perfect metaphor for saving that first big chunk of money. Every single dollar feels like a huge effort. You're fighting against all your expenses, all the temptations, and that nagging feeling that you're just not getting anywhere. But here's the thing. The real fight, it isn't just with your bank account. It's happening right inside your head.
So when you have little to no savings, your brain kicks into what psychologists call survival mode. And that analogy is spot on. It's like trying to plan a dream vacation while your house is literally on fire. Your mind is just completely focused on the immediate threats, making rent, affording groceries, that it's basically impossible to even think about long-term opportunities.
And you can really see the difference here. When you're in survival mode, what do? You take the first job offered, not necessarily the best one. You stay in a bad situation because leaving just feels way too risky. But in growth mode, oh man, the questions change. You start asking, how can I grow this instead of just, how do I survive? That shift, it's absolutely profound.
So, the big question is, how do you break out of that cycle? Well, this is where the magic really happens. It's the tipping point, where the cold, hard math of saving finally connects with a brand new mindset.
Okay, now get this. Research from Vanguard found something fascinating. Just having $2,000 in savings boosts your sense of financial well-being by a massive 21%. Think about that. That small buffer is enough to pull your brain out of total panic mode. And when you get to a full emergency fund, which for most people is right around that $20,000 mark, you get another huge psychological boost. You've finally created some breathing room.
All right, now let's talk about the math, because this is where the acceleration really, really kicks in. That first 20 grand, saving $1,000 a month, it might take you 19 months. It's a total grind. But look at this. The second $20,000, it only takes 17 months. And then it gets faster. By the time you have a $400,000 portfolio, that same $20,000 in growth can happen in just 5 months. And most of that is just from your investments doing their thing.
So here's the key takeaway. Your money starts doing more and more of the heavy lifting, even though you're putting in the same amount of effort. It's not some secret strategy, okay? It's just math, simple math. A 10% return on 2 grand is, $200. But a 10% return on 20 grand, that's $2,000. That is real money, and it is working for you. And once you have this foundation in place, your whole reality just shifts. You literally start to see a world of possibilities that was completely invisible to you before. Just think about it like this. Before you have that cushion, an unexpected car repair is a total catastrophe, right? It could derail your entire month. But after you have that 20 grand, it's just an annoying inconvenience. It's a problem you can solve, not a crisis you have to fear. Your whole perspective on life's little hiccups just completely flips.
And honestly, this is where it gets really exciting. Because suddenly you have options, actual options. A friend is starting a business, you can actually consider investing. You see a rental property for sale, you can realistically sit down and run the numbers. You know that old saying, money goes to money? It's not because of some secret club. It's because having that initial money gives you the option to jump on opportunities when they appear.
And this new reality, it doesn't just apply to investments. It actually gives you a secret superpower in your career.
It has a name and it's perfect. Walking away money. It's that buffer, that $20,000 that means you do not need your next paycheck just to survive.
And let me tell you, knowing deep down that you can walk away, it changes absolutely everything about your relationship with your job.
All of a sudden, you're negotiating from a position of strength, not desperation. You finally have the confidence to ask for the raise you know you deserve, because what's the worst they can do? Say no? You'll be fine. You can push back on crazy demands. You're free to explore other jobs without panicking. It creates this amazing positive feedback loop. Your confidence leads to more success, which leads to more money, which builds even more confidence.
But, and this is so important, this is where so many people get it wrong. They work so hard, they reach this incredible milestone, and then they make one critical, absolutely devastating mistake. So please listen to me on this. That first $20,000 is not a reward for good behavior. It's not a prize you spend on a fancy car or a big vacation. It is the foundation. It's the seed that grows into your entire financial future, maybe even generational wealth. Whatever you do, don't tear it down the second you finish building it.
Let's just look at the raw opportunity cost. Think about a $30,000 car. It isn't just $30,000. It represents the $200,000 or more that money could have become if you had just invested it for a couple decades. The car instantly loses value and creates a monthly expense. The investment? It generates passive income and builds your wealth, literally while you sleep.
So when it's all said and done, it comes down to a single powerful choice. Once you've built that foundation, you have to decide, what do you want your money to buy for you? Do you want it to buy you things, or do you want it to buy you freedom? The freedom to choose your work, to take chances, and to design the life you actually want to live. The choice, well, it's yours.